and welcome back everyone to the video series devoted to a show on MTV. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 38, Episode 13. And we have a lot to talk about from this past week's episode. So let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Faysal being voted to go directly into the elimination, having to face off against his friend Nelson, and when effectively knocking out Nelson and Nerys from the season officially. And coming back to the challenge house, Faysal is feeling good that he won and got to stay in this game, but he's also a little cautious about the other team because given the opportunity again, he's wondering if he would be safe or if he would be voted back into the elimination. He also calls everybody that voted for him to go into the elimination idiots. Now, speaking of the vote, while in the kitchen, this is when Banana stirs up drama by having to bring up the whole burn vote that Mariah did instead of trying to tie the vote to keep Faysal safe. This gives Faysal the green light to air his grievances over Mariah's strategy, and after a somewhat heated exchange, that's when Jordan walks into the kitchen where Faysal turns his attention towards him, bringing up what happened to being a man of your word, keeping your word, and not saying my name. You promised you wouldn't say my name. And that's when Jordan doubles down on saying that because of Tori's ultimatum, he decided that he was going to go back on his word, say Faysal's name, vote for him to go into the elimination, and he also says that he did it out of spite, basically. This is where we have voices being raised between Tori and Jordan. Tori talks about the deal that was made earlier to keep Jordan safe, that she vouched for Jordan, that she made the deal to keep Jordan safe, that this is the Jordan show, and you kind of made her look stupid, where Jordan rebuts that she ultimately made the deal to save herself in the long run. She didn't do it out of the kindness of her heart. She did it mainly to save herself. Nothing gets resolved as usual between these two, and this conversation ends with Tori storming out of the kitchen. In the next moment, we get some team meetings between the two teams. We have Team Underdog, where Devin picks up where he left off with the leadership role, saying that he's proud of his team for winning and that they need to keep this momentum. While Team Faysal, a lot of people congratulate Faysal for getting to stay in this game, but also they have to learn to kind of work as a team and get the momentum back of winning because they can't be losing anymore. They need to get the momentum back. They need to put the pressure on Team Mariah, and everybody agrees. And they also say, like, they're sad to see Nelson go, and they're going to do it for Nelly. The next morning, we see Amber get a phone call from home, and this is when the alarm bells are ringing in my mind because it was just last week Nelson got a phone call from back home, and look where he is at now. Later on, we see Nani talking to Casey. She is bringing up stories about her mom and when her and Casey went to go meet her for the first time. We find out that at the time of filming this was Nani's mom's birthday day, and so this was an emotional time for Nani. I'm sure it was really, really difficult to be in the game, in the house, but luckily she has Casey to be that rock beside her. She has her friend in Banana. She has got a lot of friends in the house. The next day, everybody dons their challenge gear, heads down to a field to meet up with TJ for this week's daily challenge called Blind Faith. In today's daily challenge, the teams are going to have to complete 4 tasks, and the team that can complete all 4 tasks in the quickest amount of time will win into power. Now, the major caveat here is that they don't know what they will be doing when they nominate players to do these games. What DJ is going to do is just show them a picture, a random symbol, and then off of that symbol, they're going to have to try to guess what the game is going to be about, and then nominate a person that they think could excel at that task. Picture number 1 is a target, and Jordan volunteers for his team, and Faysal nominates himself for his team to go against Jordan on the basis that he wants to go against Jordan one-on-one. He wants to show that he's the big man on campus. TJ gives the directions that the two men are going to have to use a giant slingshot, try to hit a target from across the field. There's 7 windows in this target area. They're going to have to knock out 3 of those glass panes. Once a player has hit 3 targets, their time will be stopped. If anybody misses a target, they're going to have to take a shot of disgusting juice liquid. I don't even know what it is. I don't even think they said it in the episode. It just looks gross. It kind of reminds me of Battle of the Exes 2, where they had to drink the fish head juice. In the first 9 minutes, it looked like nobody hit any targets. That is until Devin stepped up for his team yet again, this time being Jordan's spotter. So Devin, on the sidelines, was able to give him instructions, and Jordan was starting to hit the targets. He hit his 3 targets, and the time stopped at 38 minutes. Faysal was flopping hard during this task. He wasn't hitting anything, to the point where Faysal's team and Faysal and even Jordan was like, just help Faysal out so we can move on from this task. Devin does. He helps Faysal. Now I'm with Horacio on this, where he has a confessional where he is getting frustrated that his team is helping Team Faysal. That he's like, I get it, I'm a nice guy, but I'm also competitive. Why are we helping Team Faysal here? We should just let him be here all day and just get as much time as possible saved up for our lead. And I was like, yes, leave them for dead. Don't help them. And then Horacio says it in his confessional saying, I hope this doesn't come back to bite us, which I was like, that seems foreboding. After task number 1 is complete, Team Underdog has a 24+ minute lead. For task number 2, TJ shows a puzzle picture. Team Faysal nominates Anissa and Olivia. Team Underdog nominates Devin and Nani. This was interesting because Olivia and Anissa actually finished the puzzle before Devin and Nani. However, it was only by a couple of seconds because Team Underdog still had a 24-minute lead over Team Faysal. Going into the 3rd task, TJ shows a picture of a light bulb. Team Faysal's team nominates Tori and Bananas. Team Underdog nominates Horacio and Amber. One player on each pair will have to run the length of the field to go try to memorize an answer key. Somebody call the Black Eyed Peas because their partner will have to meet them halfway for them to then communicate what the pattern looks like. Once you recreate the pattern correctly, your time will stop. Horacio and Amber were a perfect pairing. They never ran out of endurance. They had perfect communication, and they even boosted Team Underdog's lead. When both teams had their time stopped, they had a 37-minute, 42-second lead over Team Faysal, and they only have one more task to go. The 4th and final task is called Bungee, which is essentially banded together from Season 22 Battle of the Exes. With a 37-minute, 42-second lead, I was like, there's no way Team Underdog will lose this. There can't be. Like, how? How would they lose this? I thought the foreshadowing by Horacio after the first task, I was like, oh no, they're gonna lose this somehow. They're gonna lose it along the way. No, I was like, they have 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes. They should be able to get this, especially when Chauncey is talking about how he's not feeling so great about helping his team win because it puts Amber in danger. But even in that line of thinking, Casey and Chauncey are able to halt their time. They're both able to complete this task. Mariah and Jordan are on the clock. They have 37.5 minutes to finish this task. But they kept on resetting. They kept on having to try different tactics. Mariah was getting absolutely exhausted. She had no grip strength. I couldn't believe what I was seeing as I just saw the time on the bottom of the screen just get higher and higher and higher. And then they tried one more time where Jordan was so close at possibly being able to get to the bar. However, when he was trying to pull on Mariah as an anchor, Mariah just let go of the bar. And then they ran out of time, meaning Team Faysal somehow won this daily challenge. Like, what? I felt like I was watching the Colts versus the Vikings again. Was this Tom Brady versus the Atlanta Falcons again in the Super Bowl? How did you lose on a 37-minute lead when it's just one task? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now, back at the house, Amber reassures Chauncey that he did nothing wrong by helping his team win. Chauncey, you can tell, is very distraught. by his team winning. We go to the interrogation this episode, and normally the interrogations have been pretty blasé because nobody wants to give any information, but with only 3 people up for grabs and possibly going into the elimination, with 2 of those people going into the elimination, no holds bar. Nani is up first. She, of course, does not want to be the direct vote, but she also doesn't want Amber to be the direct vote. She would like Mariah to be the direct vote. She's a rookie, she hasn't been tested. It's better to go with the unknown than the known of a 5-1 elimination beast, just in case Nani has to go into the elimination. We move on to Amber, who says the exact same thing. She doesn't want Nani to go into the elimination. She would rather Mariah go into the elimination. And then Mariah comes in and she's like, I know it's either between me and Amber. Nani has no chance of being the direct vote. This is when Faysal decides to bring up yet again the burn vote that happened last week, and he's like, how do you expect me to try to vouch for you, to keep you safe and not vote for you to go into the elimination when you didn't give me the same respect last week? Mariah's like, do what's best for your game, and if that's me going into the elimination, then so be it. After the interrogation, that's when we get a scene from Nani and Casey in the backyard saying how grateful they are to have each other in the game. Amber is getting emotional while she's packing up, and then everybody dons their challenge gear to meet up with TJ in the zone for this week's elimination. That's when TJ asked for Team Faysal for their votes. Nani gets 2 votes, which I was surprised about. Faysal and Olivia vote for Nani. Very surprised that Faysal voted for Nani. Amber gets 1 vote by Bananas, and then the rest of Chauncey, Casey, Tori, and Anissa all vote for Mariah to be the direct vote to go into the elimination. She's going into the elimination. We get to the dagger pool, which is only 2. I was shocked that Nani wasn't the person to get to pull the daggers first. Amber is up. She gets to pull whichever one. She has a 50-50 shot. She's going back and forth, back and forth. She even looks back to Nani being like, are you sure you don't want to be the person to pull first? I'll let you pull first. And Nani was just like, just pull. Just do what you got to do. It's okay. That's when Amber finally makes a decision, pulls a sword, and it is safe. Now, I was still worried for Amber's safety because she made a big deal, especially in the interrogation, saying that she really liked Nani, she felt close with Nani, that she wanted Nani to go far into the game, possibly make it to the finals, where I was worried that even with Amber pulling the safe sword, that she would be like, look, I pulled the safe sword, and I can choose anybody to be safe. I would rather Nani be safe and I'll go into the elimination. I thought that was a possibility, but luckily Amber went up the stairs, joined her team to watch Nani face off against Mariah in this week's elimination called I Can See. Both players will be tethered to a wall where they're going to have to use a lot of strength to lift up the wall to see a series of letters. They're going to have to unscramble 6 words and then press a button. The first player to complete this wins the elimination, stays in this game, and the other person will get a one-way ticket to Hotel Kenny. Now, before the elimination kicks off, we get a special surprise from TJ, who brings out his wife to watch the elimination firsthand, getting the TJ vision, getting the TJ experience, and I'll say it right now, TJ's wife is like a natural host. She was doing a great job. You would think that she was like co-hosting the challenge for all these years. She did a great job. She didn't look nervous at all. She was like, yeah, I'm cool with this. Hearing the rules of this elimination, I was thinking that, okay, this one's going to be all right. It's not going to be that exciting, but I was wrong because by the end of it, I was at the edge of my seat, not knowing what was going to happen. It was so close when it came down to it. Nani got off to an early lead, getting the first 3 words pretty quickly. Mariah was having a little bit of difficulties. However, once Nani got to devotion, and that was giving her a really tough time, Mariah was able to make up some time. Mariah actually caught up with Nani and then surpassed Nani. Both women were on the final word, which was friendship. Both were figuring it out at the same exact time. Then both players asked for a check milliseconds after one another. And then that's when TJ just like stood there and was just like, press the button, press the button. And both Mariah and Nani were just like, oh yeah, there was a button aspect to this. They both turn. Mariah actually presses her button first. She even asked for check the tape because nobody was looking at her. They were all looking at Nani. Mariah was actually able to press her button first. However, on second inspection of her board, she notices that she spelled devotion wrong. she put the O in front of the I, meaning she got one word wrong, and Nani was able to win this elimination. Like I said, at first I thought this isn't going to be that great of an elimination, and then it got me like at the edge of my seat. I was like rooting and hooting and hollering. It was really, really fun. Nani was able to win. She gets to stay in this game, and then Mariah sadly had to exit the zone, and Faysal shows no emotion for his original partner exiting the season. Bananas is more sad to see Mariah leave than Faysal. But what's really funny is that Faysal has no idea that he's halfway out the door already with his original partner leaving the game. Everybody leaves the zone to head back to the challenge house. Mariah enters the zone again to meet up with TJ, where he gives her the information that because her original partner Faysal is still in this game, she'll have a chance of getting back into the game. And it's a little bit awkward exchange, but Mariah is very excited. And that is where this episode ends. What did you think about this episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. I really enjoyed the daily challenge. I liked how much content we got. I liked how people were kind of put in the spotlight to have to compete one-on-one or 2v2 in the different tasks. I thought that there was a lot of content for the daily challenge, which I really, really appreciated. I still can't believe that Team Underdog lost with a 37-minute lead. Now, something that was very predictable was Mariah being voted in. I'm very surprised that Nani was the one going into the elimination against Mariah. Nani won. She was very confident going into this elimination. She did a great job. It was very, very close, but she was able to get this win. Congratulations, Nani. She gets to stay in this game. I'm happy that we got to see two players that hadn't been in elimination yet on the season go into the elimination. Now Team Mariah, Team Underdog, everybody on that team so far now has seen an elimination. But now I turn it over to you. What did you think about this episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. What did you think about the daily challenge? What did you think about all the different tasks? What did you think about Team Mariah, Team Underdog losing with such a big lead? Could you believe it, or were you incredulous as I was? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about Mariah being the direct vote? What do you think about Mariah versus Nani in this elimination? Let me know anything and everything. Also, it's interesting because looking at the preview to the next on at the end of this episode, it looks like we could possibly be seeing this twist come to an end where everybody at the end of the preview everybody is dressed up in their elimination challenge gear. How incredible would that be if Kenny and Mariah just walk into the zone, then TJ calls down Faysal and Casey to have to compete alongside their original partner for a chance to come back into this game as everybody's gonna get paired back up? Oh, how much would I pay to see Faysal and Mariah going up against Kenny and Casey in elimination, and one of them going home and just being completely knocked out of this game? Oh, please let it happen. But what do you think about that scene in the preview, and what do you think it means heading into next episode? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge 38 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.